gentlemen, welcome to Leadership in Politics with Dr. Abraham. I have another special episode for you today. Best-selling author Carla Johnson. Carla, welcome again to the show.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be back. It's great to see you.
Same here. Great to see you. You have officially became a friend of the show. This is your third time on the show.
It is. I'm feeling like family now.
You are a family. So you join, I'll tell you who you join. You join a selected group of people that made it 3 times. Dr. Diane Hamilton, Dr. Dave Ulrich, Dr. Oleg Konovalov, and you.
That's wonderful. And I'm delighted to have been connected.
Actually, Chester Alton as well.
Okay.
So 6 people that made it 3 times on the show.
It's a prestigious group.
It is a prestigious, and you're one of them. And you're a friend of the show. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Today, guys, audience, today we celebrate something special. Her new book is out. What is it?
It launches June 29th.
It is basically it's going to be released June 29th.
It'll be released June 29th. But because I'm part of the family, that's why you have an early copy.
Not only early copy, look. I have an early copy, that's signed copy. So I cherish this book and I'm endorsing this book. It's wonderful. So officially I'm endorsing the book and welcome to the show again. So tell me, what do you want us to know? What you want people to know about this book? Do you have it with you?
I do.
You have a copy? Let me see this.
Yes.
Let's put it together.
I do. You know, really Rethink Innovation. The reason that I wrote the book is I wanted to answer a question. Is coming up with a great idea that has an impact something that can be taught? And the answer is yes, which is why you hold the book in your hand. But what I found is that people who we idolize as amazingly innovative people, you know, those creative thinkers, they all follow the exact process that I outline in the book, whether they realize it or not. And I think that's one of the frustrations that people have, is that they think I'm not an innovator, I'm not a creative person, that's for somebody else to do, that's not my job. But innovation is really everybody's business. And especially now when we look at everything that's gone on in business in this last year, is that more than ever, we need to make sure that we give everybody the opportunity and the nurturing and the education and the encouragement to come up with the ideas that take advantage of opportunities that we have in front of us, and to be able to solve problems that are different, like any that we've had to solve before in business.
If you go to any section of this book, there's always an insight where you talk about how to distill the 3 steps, and then you talk about the practice, you know, so you basically, and also you give them, there's exhibits 1 and 2 and 3. Example, one of them, how might we make day-to-day tasks less disgusting?
Yeah, and you know, the interesting thing about the how might we phrase is that it relaxes your brain and lets it think in different ways. So I think a lot of times, when we ask these types of questions, we ask, how can we do this? And just how your brain functions, whether you realize it or not, you know, back here in the back office of your brain, it's going, well, I don't know, can we solve this problem? You know, I don't know if we can. And it starts to rein itself in before you ever get to those ideas about how to solve it. Or maybe you say, how should we solve this problem? And should is a pretty powerful word because it implies judgment. And then your brain starts to say things like, well, I don't know that we should. You know, the last time somebody tried to solve a problem, they really got, you know, dragged across the coals and hurt their career. And maybe we shouldn't try and solve these problems. And so a phrase like how might we positions it as one, non-threatening. It doesn't imply that it can or can't be done. It just opens it up to opportunities. It's like saying to a kid, let's pretend. And
you share responsibilities. You share responsibilities and accountabilities. There's something I was very interested in, and although the whole book the entire book is full of insights, but there's the Perpetual Innovation Process. Is that your own making? I mean, when we talk about pitch, observe, distill, generate, and relate, that's your own theory.
That's my own theory. And then in the book, then I break down each process into detail. And it's interesting to think that we have to actually put into a process how to observe, because it's something that we're innately born with as kids. But just, you know, how life goes, and so much of our world being busy and overscheduled and technology, we learn what we lose what we've learned and know naturally. And so I break it down and teach people how to observe the world around you and, reactivate those five senses and relax your brain. And so you aren't always thinking about that never ending to-do list and things
Yeah,
like that. And then I do that with each step of the process.
I like it. I mean, you come across through you're a bestseller, through you're an author. This is not your first book. You've written so many of
It's
them
actually my
before.
10th.
The
Yeah.
10th book.
Yeah.
But this one here, you say rethink the innovation process. But you, Carla, you come as a thinker. You're entering into a different realms because I look at it because I teach, as you know, organizational behavior on an MBA level. And you were one of the guests, right?
It
Guest
was a great
speakers.
class.
A
Yeah.
great class. You presented your insights. In that class, I teach about the perception process, the perpetual of perception process. Here you talk about innovation. These thoughts can be one day taught at an MBA level or in business school. So
Mhm.
congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Also, I'm looking at it from a thinking in process or school of thought is like, what is she introducing to us in addition to the insights? You're introducing a theory of thought that can be taught to anyone.
Yeah, and really looking at like literally rethinking and the story behind the title, the RE:think
Yes,
innovation, is that when I started work, and you may have seen these too, in the old days, the paper memos, and it was to, from, and then RE as in
yes,
regarding,
yes,
RE:, what
yes.
is this about? And this book is regarding the way we think about innovation and how we define it, what we think it is, who we think has permission to be a part of it. And especially with companies, I want them to rethink their whole approach to innovation and the impact that it can have on their business and how they look at it and who's involved. One of
Yeah.
my goals is to teach 1 million people how to become innovative thinkers, because that's the true fuel for creating innovative companies, is that you have to reverse engineer it into innovative people.
Really, at this time, as you know, I just wanted to celebrate you. I wanted to congratulate on the
Thank you.
milestone on this book, and it's going to be released soon. But it is already pre-order. How can people pre-order this book?
It's available where all great books are sold. You can find it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. I always share my local independent bookstore, Tattered Cover. It's pretty famous here in Denver. I always like to support independent bookstores. And you can find out more about the book on my website, Carla Johnson, Carla with a C.co. There's no M, just C.O. And go to the book page, and there's lots of information. There's testimonials from other people. There's you can sign up and get some bonuses once you have pre-ordered your book and put your order number in there. And my intention is to help people become innovators and share as much as what I've learned along the process with everybody else.
Excellent. Who are your audience here? Meant for everyone?
It can be applied to everyone who wants to learn how to think better, bigger, and differently.
Mhm.
My main customer base are bigger companies, companies who want to improve their performance, and they're wanting to remove friction and what it takes to get great ideas out of the door and out into the world. And many companies rely on a traditional innovation group to do that. But what happens is that these new products or new services or improvements get hung up in the other 90% of the organization. And that's why I say innovation is everybody's business, because it isn't just about coming up with a new invention or a new product. It's about how we look at all of the work that we do.
What happens to the company, to the organization if they don't innovate?
Well, I
What
think
happens to them?
we've seen the Blockbusters and the Kodaks and a lot of these kind of companies in the world, is that they think they can just hold on and keep doing what they've always been doing. But it's no longer a time in business when you can do that. And we see what happens, especially in this last year, if companies aren't willing to look for opportunities and then have the employees in-house who can understand how to take those ideas and put into something that is actually executable against a specific objective toward an outcome that supports the business.
That's very true. So innovate or exit the business. Creativity. Can we have creativity without innovation?
I think you can have creativity without innovation, but I think you can't have innovation without creativity. And in a way, you can look at creativity as almost a loss leader for innovation. It's a lot of the trial and error that feeds into innovation that can be infused deeper into all parts of the company.
Thank you for this. We'll end up with this. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It
Thank you
was
for
a
coming,
delight.
guys. The book is Rethink Innovation. The author is Carla Johnson. I thank you for your time and thank you for coming to Leadership and Politics with Dr. Abraham.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back.
Welcome.